In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to make the sheet metal forming tool button with slots that starts on page 14-2 of your textbook. So first I'm going to choose the right plane and tell it I want to make an extrude boss. I'll activate center point rectangle, click on the origin, move out and click, create my rectangle. Use mouse gestures to activate dimension, and I'll dimension at 1.5 by 2. I'll right click to exit the sketch. The extrusion thickness is 1/4 inch. I'll enter that. Again, I'll right click to accept it, and I like to see things shaded with edges, so I'll turn that on. Next, I want to choose the front plane and make a revolve. So I'll look normal to that, and I'm going to sketch my revolve out here. So I'll use mouse gestures again to activate smart dimension, and I'll start up here. I'll click, come down to this face, click, come down to the center, click, come up a bit, click, and now I want to change to 3-point arc mode, so I move off and then back on, and I've made my arc and I've closed my shape. The next step is to fully dimension this, and I'll also add a center line, so I'll use mouse gestures. I'm going to add a center line here. I'll push escape to stop. Now that's a line, so I'll select it and tell it it's now a construction line. Adding this construction line or center line just lets SolidWorks grab it by default because it's the only one to revolve the part around. Again, I'll use mouse gestures to activate smart dimensioning. This dimension here is 5/8. This is 150 thou. This radius is 2 1/4. My sketch is fully defined. I'll right click to exit the sketch. I'll give it a minute, and like I said, it's grabbed this line to revolve around. This shape's going to do a full 360 degrees, and I'll accept that. So here's what we have. So next, it's a forming tool, so I want to fillet here. So I'm going to select this edge, go to fillet, and I'm going to create an 80 thou fillet. So I'll enter my size, right click to accept that. Now that I've added the fillet, I want to work on this face. So I'm going to sketch on this face. I'm going to look normal to it. So I've selected this face, and next I want to make a sketch on it. So I'll select sketch, and I'm going to come up here and I'm going to use the center point arc slot. So this is the tool I want. I can have it add dimensions automatically, so I'll turn that on. I'm going to come out here and click the center. I'll move up, click, and I'm going to create the arc. I won't worry about its position too much. So I've clicked twice, moved off, clicked again, and I've added the dimensions. I'm going to push escape. I'm just going to bring this around. So what I want is this vertical when I'm all done. To make it vertical, I can do several things. I'm going to add a center line from here up. The length doesn't matter. Push escape to stop. I'm going to select the center point of my arc, hold control, select this center line, and I'll make them coincident. Next, I need to fully dimension. It is fully defined, but I need to make these dimensions suit my part. So this is 1/16 radius. So I'll enter 1/16 times 2. This radius here is 0.388. And the arc sweep is 135 degrees. Now that's fully defined, I would like 2 of these, one on the bottom. So I'll go back again. I'm going to add a center line. I'm going to add another center line here that's horizontal. Push escape to stop. And I'm going to window select everything. Then I'll come up here and say mirror entities. It doesn't know what to mirror about because there are the 2 center lines, so I'm going to tell it to mirror about this. Right click to accept it, and I have my fully defined sketch. I'll exit the sketch, and I'm just going to go back to the isometric view and then rotate the part a bit this way. So now that I've created the sketch, what I want to have happen here is when this button pierces my work, another tool is going to come through this tool and it's going to punch out this material. To do that in a forming tool, I have to tell it that this sketch is a split line. So first, I'm going to make sure my sketch is selected. Then I'm going to come up here to curves, and I'm going to come to split line and seize my sketch, and I'm going to project it onto this face, and it's asking what face to split. So I'll select this face. Just rotate around a bit, and I'll select OK. And now, if I hover over this, I can see this face has been split. Last thing I want to do to create this as a forming tool is add a fillet to this edge. So I'm going to select the edge, fillet, This fillet is a 16th, so I'll enter 62 thou. Right click to accept it. And now I'm ready to make this into an actual forming tool. I'm going to come up to sheet metal just like we did with the other forming tool. And I'm going to say I'm creating a forming tool. My stopping face is this, and the faces to remove are this face and this face. And I'll say OK. It's color coded everything. Here's my stopping face. The yellow will form the shape and the red will punch out material. Lastly, I'll save this in the form tool library. So I'll come down, I'll choose save as. I'll say the file type is a form tool. So we'll come up to form tool. Make sure you're in the proper library for your version of SolidWorks. I'll go into forming tools and I can save this in one of these folders, or I can right click and I can create my own folder. So I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call this My Tools. So I'll double click to go in there, and then I'm going to name it Button with Slots. And save it, and I can now use this as a forming tool.